Okay, so in this video we'll be looking at creating a little scene with some floating objects we'll animate to make it look like they're floating. I've seen a lot of Instagram, as I scroll through Instagram, I like to scroll through like all the 3D stuff, and then I see some cool stuff, and a lot of people are doing this like floating objects in the room. So for example, say you have this little room here, then this table, coffee table, and this sofa and pillows would start to float within the room. And we're going to use some of these assets we're going to use from the Quixel bridge. So I've already pre-downloaded a wooden floor, carpet, this picture frame, plant, that we can just animate. It's going to be really simple. It's nothing too complicated, hopefully. And let's jump in. I also put a link to Quixel Bridge if you don't have that. And let's open Blender. Let's go. Boom. So Blender is open. What I'm going to do is delete the default cube this side. I'm going to just delete everything. So just a clean blank scene. Add a mesh plane. This will be our floor. I'm going to scale it up slightly bigger. This will be our floor, and what I'll do is just go into edit mode, select this back edge here, and this will be our back wall. Okay, and we're going to extrude up. Up. I'll just hit E to extrude and then drag up. Okay, so that'll be our back wall. So we pretty much got the room done. If you want to add like the side, the skirting board, all of that detail, yeah, feel free to do so. I mean I can do it right now. Let's do it right now. Let's just add it in. Now I said it, now we have to do it. I don't know. Anyway, let me just click on these matcap options here. And say random, so we always have a different color. So just makes it easier to visualize and see. I also like to sometimes turn on the cavities. You can see like all the edges nice, a lot nicer, just easier to see. Anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's just make a little side skirting board. It's about this size. It's easier to look at from the side like this. There we go. Something like that. This will do. This doesn't need to be that thick. Boom. Boom. And drop it on the back wall. And let's just bevel this front edge here. So what I'm going to do is actually go into edit mode. So this edge here, I'm going to bring it down so it's got a slope, slight slope. So I'm just going to move it down and right click over edge. Bevel this, and then just increase those segments so that's rounded. There we go. We've got a nice little skirting board, wall, okay. So like I said, actually maybe it's easier, let's just leave it as material for now. No, so with the Quixel Mega Bridge you can, so you see here, you can send the stuff over to Blender and they will go across. So I'll send this frame over, this carpet over the wooden floor, and this plant. And we jump back into the scene now. You see the objects will appear in the scene and any materials. So if I click on the material tab, will appear here. So you can see here we've got the carpet, wooden floor, and then these are the materials for the objects. Some of these you don't need, like Lambert 0001, you probably don't need anyway. But we can delete stuff we don't need. Right. So we've got a few extra plants in there that we don't need. Oops, delete the wrong. So I'm going to just delete some of these plants. Just keep one. I just want one plant. Okay, I've got this picture frame. So I'm going to make this slightly big. There's no picture in it right now. So what I can do is place my face in there, perhaps. So let's first make this item, set this to 90. There we go. So yeah, flat on. Yeah, that's fine. And what I want to do is I want to go into edit mode. So I'm going to hit tab to go into edit mode. And then I'll add a plane in here. And then I'll rotate this. So if I go to the side view here, rotate this 90 degrees. Ooh. Scale this in. So the reason I'm adding the plane into edit mode, so it's part of the object, rather than me having to parent it or join it, I can just edit it in here. Because if I exit edit mode now, so if I move the frame, you can see the plane goes with it. But I can assign a material to this. So with the plane selected, I'm going to press plus, assign a new material, assign. With the base color, I want to apply a image texture. And I'll just press open on my desktop. There's a picture of my avatar. There we go. Let's see with color mode now. It's there. It's all stretched and it's the wrong way around. So we can just click on UV mappings there. With this selected. Make sure that face is selected only. So we want just this face. We don't want the model. Oh, make sure the face is selected. There we go. And we know it is the wrong way around here. So I'm going to just selecting the UVs and I'll just rotate this 90. Oh, the wrong way around. This way. There we go. That'll do. If you do want to correct the proportions, you can. There you go. You can adjust the proportions of your UV. Probably crop some of the image, but that's fine. Here we go. It looks better than it being distorted. Anyway, let's go back to layout. You can place whatever texture image file you want on there. You can follow it along. Anyway, let's place this against the wall. So I'm going to look at the side here. And I'm going to rotate this in. So it's leaning against the wall on the floor. There we go. Now you can dress this however you like. Okay. Now the pot plant will need the plant will need a pot to go in. We can just use right now we just use a mesh. We'll just use a cylinder. Boom. I'll scale this in. Boom. Let's position this. So if I look at it from above, it's easier. I can just position it where I need it to be. Okay. Move this up above the floor. I'll zoom in. I'll say shade smooth, auto shade smooth actually. I like to use the auto shade smooth. Go into edit mode. I'm gonna move this bottom face up. With the edges selected, I'm gonna say bevel edge. Like so. Now we've got a nice rounded. Let's undo that. I'll press undo. When I bevel the edges, I want to add a few more segments just to give it a bit more resolution. There we go. Now the top, I'm going to hit the inset face. We're going to use the inset face and just drag this in, and then we'll just extrude down. Yeah. Now we can give this inside the material a different color from the actual ceramic pot itself. So if we want it to be ceramic, look ceramic, should I say? Let's increase this, bring the roughness down. It should look more glossy. Did I assign this? Yeah, this is the material. Yeah. Let's just check. Scene world. I'll change the scene world to like a room. There we go. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see it's nice and glossy. Okay. And the inside here, we don't want this to be glossy, so new material, new, assign it to that face there. We're going for like make this look like soil. So over here we're going to look like soil, and I'll bring that saturation down. There we go. Then if you want, you can make like bump, make it look like soil, or add some dirt texture. I'm not gonna go too far in there because we ain't gonna see too much of it. And then oh yeah, the roughness on that. So maybe the roughness, we want to put the roughness up. There we go. Anyway, so let's just join these two together. Sorry for the interruption. Anyway, join. I'm going to join these two objects. So now this is one object. Got two objects here. Let's add a rug on the floor. You can add more objects into the scene. If you want, you can go in here. You can look for more objects. So you go 3D assets. Maybe we'll want some interior assets. And then we can see. Let's see what we've got in here. So we've got ceiling, decoration, railings. And then there's some bowls and pots and pans. It'd be kind of random if it was. I don't know. We used something, but I don't know what. Decor. Props. Let's see what's in props. We've got books, firewood, farmwood, storage, recreational. Is that toys and stuff? Yeah, look, sporting goods, cigar. What's sporting goods? Football. They look kind of worn away like this. I wish there was a back. Maybe I'm not using it right, but anyway, go back to props. Let's go to toys. Let's get back one of these wooden toys. Could do the blocks, but then that means a lot of animating the blocks. Can't be asked. I'll get this horse. Yeah, actually, I'll get this moose, wooden moose. Okay, as you can see, you just hit the download. Let it do its thing. My internet's not as the fastest in the world. Give it a few seconds. And I'm going to add that into the scene. There we go. And there's our little toy moose that we can put down. And let's just rotate this, something like this. Make sure it's sitting on the ground, so I'm just going to go to the side view here. Kind of looks like it's sitting on the ground. Where you place this is up to you. I'm going to move it somewhere around here. Okay, so I want to add a rug. So I'm going to just go add mesh, circle. I'm going to scale this up. And move this over here. Now I'm going to hit edit mode. And I'm going to press F to fill. So now I fill that face. I'm going to assign a material to this. So I'm going to add a new material, which will be the carpet. And now you can see the UV mapping is incorrect on this. So actually, what I want to do is, while I'm in edit mode as well, I want to just say fill. Not fill. I want it to fill, grid fill. There we go. That's better. I want to do grid fill, and then I want to. Is there two faces? Let's see. Let me just check. Yeah, it's just some weird Z sort. No, with this selected, I am going to go into UV mode here. Then look at it from above. We'll just say UV project from view. Then we've got the carpet to texture right here, and we can see move this around. So this now maps a lot better. That's up to you how much you want of that rug. If you want to repeat it, this looks about right. Something like that scale. Depends on what you want the scale of your rug, but yeah, play around with it. Okay, so now we have a rug. Let's add some thickness to this. So let's add a modifier to this. We'll add two modifiers. So we'll add a solidify, and that's we've got some kind of thickness there. Yeah, it is weird. That is a weird. There's some weirdness going on with that. Let me check what's going on. Because when I say fill, why is it? There we go. Delete face. For some bizarre reason, it added. It had some extra face. I'm not sure if you have that. If you do find that problem, delete that extra face. Anyway, let's go back and add the solidify now. So that looks much better. And let's add a bevel as well before the. I was like after the modifier. Okay, increase segments. Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah, that looks okay. And I want to also add a displace, simple deform. So I want to displace it, but I want it to bend. I want it to bend along the x-axis. Is this bending correct? No. Let's turn it into a sphere. A sphere. What happens if I do it like this? Not really rolling or twisting or anything, is it? On the Z? How about now? Does this do, what's this? This changes the Z. Let's turn it. There we go. Let's do twist. We'll do twist. So we're gonna animate the twist. Okay. As it comes off the ground, we'll animate this twist and make it deform like that. They're just a little subtle. It'll be really subtle. Anyway. So we've got our rug, we've got our toy, we've got our frame, our plant. Let's work on the floor. So we have no floor material. So with our materials, we're gonna assign a material to everything new. Then I'm gonna assign another one. Actually, then I'm gonna add the wooden floor. Oh, add a new one, then select new floor. Sorry, I'm going in the wrong order. Look for the wooden floor. There we go. So now that's that. We're going to edit mode. With that selected, assign it to this face. There you go. So it's starting to come together. Not a fan of the strength of that, but I'll bring that strength down. It's very bright. Anyway, we haven't lit it up or anything, or we're not using any cycles yet. First, we'll just put our props and elements in here. Now, I think this is enough to do something anyway. If you do want to change, say, that wall texture material, or maybe make it a little bit more beige, you know, so it's not white, you can do that. Add some bump to that. Same for this trim. If you want to add the material to that, feel free. I'll just put just the default material there. There we go. Anyway, let's start keyframing stuff. So I'm gonna go back to, say, I'm gonna start at 24. Let's start at 24, and I'm gonna use auto key because it just makes more sense. So it's just a lot easier for what we're doing. Anyway, go to this side view. I'm just gonna first set the original keys. So I'm gonna just move this up and down and place it back down so it sets a key. I'll do this for each object. So this is the starting point. Now it's not the best way to do it, or to keyframe, should I say, but you know, if I go to that modifier and we know the bend, we want to keyframe this, right? So let's just add a key there on the angle as well. Anyway, so now we're gonna go forwards, and let's go to I don't know how we're doing it fast. We want it kind of slow. Let's go to about 120, and we want to move everything up. So this is up, this is up, this is up, this is up. Now maybe this one's a little bit lower, and this one's heavier, and this one's higher. This one's even higher, you know. Anyway. And we want some rotation, so it's not perfect. So I want this to kind of rotate towards that wall. This. This is going like this. Don't want too much. And maybe it's moving forward. And the toy. Now the carpet, we're going to twist it a little bit. So start to twist, maybe we want to twist it this way, like this, and rotate it slightly like that. Okay, so if you imagine the camera's looking at it from this way, so now if I just take the auto key off and we just hit play, everything slowly goes up. And now we can ease those in, so we can select these keyframes. If they're already selected, just right click and then say, I'm going to say ease in and out. I'll do the same on this, ease in and out. And this, ease in and out. Right click the timeline, ease in and out. There we go. See how that looks? Looks nice. Okay. Now if you want to render this in Eevee, you can, unlike this. I'm going to do a vertical split and add a camera to the scene. Okay. So the way I usually do it, this is going to be my viewport for looking seeing what the camera sees. So I hit 0 on the numpad, then home to fill it in. And let's pull this out like so. And we know our starting frame is this. Okay, you can play around with the camera settings if you want. So you can play around, you know, the focal length, the depth of field if you want to add depth of field, and so on. So let's just try this to see how much. Do we want the maybe we want the camera to move up as well, so the camera kind of floats up. So if we want, we could have it go up like this slowly with it. So we're going with it. Yeah, let's try that. So we know it starts at 24. I'm going to start it slightly earlier, the camera movement. So here, I'm going to just set insert keyframes on the location, and then as we go up to 120, I'll make it go a little bit more, so 124, and have this drift up tiny bit. There we go. It doesn't have to be much. And I'll just say insert keyframes. There we go. There we go. Now the moose, I'll see the moose here. Kind of looks a bit meh, you know. So maybe here I want it to tilt a bit more, and I'll just insert a keyframe here. There we go. But yeah, play around with it, you know. And you can change those keyframes. Yeah, and with the camera, like I said, you can change the orthographic if you want it to be orthographic. Let's run it orthographic. So you want it to be panoramic. I don't know what it'll look like, but yeah, you can, you know, you play around with that. Like I said, orthographic perspective. If we switch to cycles, you do have a lot more options. So you can do, I'll just change that to the GPU, and I'll just denoise that. But on the camera now, you'll have the option to do the fisheye lens with panoramic, whereas Eevee doesn't have that for some reason. But yeah, and of course you'll have to move the camera in closer, but it's a cool effect. Entirely up to you. Yeah, play around with those your camera settings. Like I said, here I might have to add a subdivision modifier on here too. I'm just going to select the carpet and apply a subdivision surface. There we go. It's much smoother. Now it's about lighting the scene. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not spending hours and hours on this. With the cameras, I'm going to select the camera. Sorry. I'm gonna go to viewport this. Is it viewport camera? Then it's yeah, viewport display. And put that passport out, so I can just focus on this. Turn off the gizmos. There we go. So I'm gonna get to a point where we can see the objects kind of floating. Actually, when it's sitting, we're gonna go in to our assets. Now I like to use the Gobo lights. You don't need to use these. You can use just the normal area lights, or these are great tools, you know. Let's say I want to look like lights coming from outside in or something. Maybe we can use these trees. So we can just drop this into our scene. Yeah. Maybe I'll position it. Move this up. Rotate this. This back. There we go. Now we'll go here. This scene here, if I turn the scene world off, you can see this. Now you get a better idea of what this GoPro light's doing. Of course, you can increase the power. So if I add another 0, boom, you know. But that's too bright. Can expand that spotlight. Change the radius, so blur out some of these shadows. So we're just getting something coming through. Maybe this doesn't work. I mean, I like that. I do like that. But yeah, you can try different ones, maybe, or you can combine. We can combine them. So maybe we want that combined with a window. So we could take a window as well. These Gobo lights you'll find in the Blender market, and they're fantastic. Like I said, you know, it adds so much to your scene without doing a lot of work. There you go. So you can see I can combine this with that. This, where is it gone? There's the window. Oop, I might have changed the radius too much. Bring that radius down. Yeah. But it adds so much detail without, you know, doing anything to the scene. Yeah, really nice results. There you go. Now, I've turned off the HDRI. If you do want, you can use your own HDRIs. I have these from the Polyhaven. You also got this from the what's it called? I forgot the name of it. Blender Market. I had a brain fart right there. And then you can change that strength. Try different ones, see which works. You know, the strength, you have to play around with the strength, the warmth. It's cool though. You can, you know, the tint, you can change all of that rotation. This one doesn't really have much effect on it. I want a really warm one. Well, sunset. Let's see what sunset looks like. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just dragging the values and just playing around. But yeah, what do you think? I don't know. I kind of like it. I like it. There you go. Now you see, I'm clipping some of the room because it's not, you know, it's not a full room, and we're clipping some of that. So maybe I want to just move the camera focal length a tiny bit more in. There we go. So like capture. There we go. If you want, you could add some like hair particles to that, make the carpet look a bit more, rather than just being a material. You could apply carpet material, I mean the hair particles to that. Let's see if I can do it. If I can remember, I haven't used hair particles in a long time. I'm gonna just making this up as we go along now on the fly. anything else, you know. So if you at this point, if you want, you can stop here. You don't need to continue watching. And if you do, thank you again. I appreciate you for hanging in here watching. Anyway, I'm gonna hit plus. And it's gonna add these particles, but we want to change it to hair. And we've got these crazy hairs in it, and we don't need them to be like that long. But yeah, look at that. That looks cool already. Anyway. But yeah, we need a lot more. I'm gonna add 2 zeros only. Boom. Maybe that's maybe too many zeros. I don't know. Let's play around with the seed. Some reason they're going out on the sides, but yeah, I believe this is here in the, is it under, we can interpolate and we can change. I'm trying to remember as we're going through here the roots, diameter of the root. There we go. So we don't, the carpet's not that thick, neither is it that long. You know, you just want a little bit, you know, you can see there. I think if I go and turn the advanced on, then I can turn on, go to the, where is it? Not fields, physics, and then we can turn the brown in. You can see here it adds that, you know, kind of noise there. There you go. That looks cool. So let's see how it looks when we bring this up. Yeah, not bad. If you do want to add more hair particles, you can. I kind of like that. I mean, you can see it's not bad. It adds a little detail. Then if you want to go take it a step further, maybe you want to add like a ceiling light or something. So you could add a light. If there was a light in the room, maybe it's a point light or area light, depends on what you want. Additional lighting, you know. Let's say there was a light in the room over here, to help, you know, give you more lighting. Let's say 85 watts or 75 watts. It's not much, but yeah, it's up to you really. Play around with that. There we go, boom. It's nothing complicated. It's pretty boring, but yeah, at the same time, I feel like the camera. Maybe I want the camera to tilt a tiny bit, so I'm being a bit extra right now. But yeah, I want to rotate this a tiny bit. There we go. There we go. Let's set keyframes here and here. I want to just zero this out and insert keys. There we go. Maybe the camera tilts. There we go. But yeah. Anyway, thank you again. Hopefully this was useful. Like I said, play around with the scene. You know, try different things. I took that light out, but yeah, you can do more, I'm sure. 100% sure you can do a lot better than this within the time. You know, spend time doing it. Put your own props in there. Or you can try different props, add more. You can have all these blocks, for example, on the ground, and they can be floating up individually, make it a bit more interesting. Maybe one hits the camera, you know. There you go. Anyway, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, or night, whatever time it is for you. And goodbye.